Bridgeside.
We're back with Choose Your Own Adventure. You guys chose a great adventure tonight. Coming on Bridgeside Live, we thank you for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us
Where
out.
are you all based from?
So I'm based in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay.
And most of these cats are from Charlottesville also, or I met there and we played together. They all live in New York now.
But you have a contingent of like a bunch of musicians.
Yeah, that's the collective part of the band name, or the Live Composed Funk Collective.
I like it.
There are members of Choose Your Own Adventure in New York, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, Charlottesville, out in Denver, L.A. So
you're everywhere, really.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere.
That's awesome. So you must be a real personal person to pull all these people together, all different characters.
Well, you know, the two requirements to be in Choose Your Own Adventure are you have to be a great musician, obviously, and you have to be a nice person, because it's really hard to write music on stage with people who you don't like. So
it's hard to do anything creative with people you don't
really
like,
true.
right?
It's
I'm
really
lucky
true.
we like everybody here. We get to do the show every week.
That's
and,
awesome.
Without killing each other. Love you guys. Shout out to the crew real quick. I just love my crew
All right,
here.
thanks, guys.
They pull off great shows every week. There you go. Woo. We have questions coming from the stream. We have
Awesome.
Tony in the control room tonight, and he's going to feed us questions. Oh, Tony, Dana's in there. Tony's right there doing lights.
All right.
Dana, what do we got for us?
You can call me Tony tonight if that's
T-Dog.
So one question that we have is, what musician would you most love to create an adventure with?
Oh
I like that
man, I think Bill Frisell, probably. Bill Frisell. I mean,
You
it's-
agree?
Yeah.
Diego. What do you guys think? Put you on the spot right now.
Yeah.
So you're about to say a couple.
Brian
Jeff
Blade,
Barker?
I think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely not Bill Frisell.
That would be so amazing.
Stealing the thunder.
So you guys have I mean, you have similar taste in music, but do some of you just really go off to other spectrums of style that you like, but you meet somewhere in the middle? Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, I think for the most, we're all from a jazz background.
Okay.
But
It starts with jazz. All great musicians kind of.
there's a lot of truth in that, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah, we all bring in our own influences, and sometimes someone will have just like Adam's tune "Cut the Bite" is just like, you know, a chord progression that we brought to the group and just had fun jamming on and have continued to play. So a lot of times it just happens like that. Someone's working on something and we can explore it a little bit with this group.
So it's mostly improv. You maybe come up with some lines that you just feed off of each other and just see where it goes.
Yeah.
And so does everyone kind of give a little, okay, you take a line, you take a line, and that's how it works?
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, especially when we have like, you know, those 3-hour bar gigs or whatever, we can stretch out and everyone gets to really experiment and try stuff out, and the tunes get really diverse and interesting. So
awesome. Well, guys, thank you for coming to Brooklyn. We're in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, if you didn't know. You have some connection to New York, but you're from Charlottesville originally.
Yeah, I'm from
You're
DC originally, yeah. But I lived in Charlottesville for so long that I think I can almost call myself a native. I don't know. It takes a while there.
Okay.
Small town life, you know. But my family's from New York. My dad grew up in Queens, and a lot of my family's still up here. And I love the city, and I love the scene. And it's just always great to come up here and play.
Awesome.
with
Well,
everyone.
you guys, too, connections to New York? The same way? Some of you live here now?
I'm from Argentina. My family's back in
Diego.
Argentina. So
I could not tell.
Right? We're playing tonight. I don't even know how that ended, but yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no connections besides all the friends that I made here and stuff, but yeah.
How do you guys think the New York scene is compared to other scenes in the States? Like, comparable, high up there? Like, you can be honest, too.
I think the great thing about the New York scene is that you can do so many different things. You can like, you know, you play a jazz gig and then immediately turn around and play a metal gig, or like an R&B. You can do it. We can really, you spread yourself. It's good and bad, because then you can spread yourself sometimes a little too thin, where you're playing all these styles. But that's the great thing about New York, is there's everything here. So you can get whatever you want.
We got everything in New York. We're very diverse, right? Everyone agrees pretty much?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Dana, you got another question for us? I'm sure you do.
I do have another question.
Yes.
So each of you, we want to know who are your number one musical influences that made you into the musicians that you are.
Let's start here with Diego and wrap around, do the snake style to Gina.
I'd have to say Bob Marley, the Wailers, that whole sound. I'm big on reggae too, and that's just like, yeah, he's my favorite.
That's a hard question.
Let's talk about that. Beautiful.
Yeah, sure. It's a difficult question. I'm glad that I am the first to go of the people from Charlottesville, because the name I'm about to say might also bring two other people from Charlottesville. But the biggest musical influence on my life is a trumpet player named John Dirth, based out of Charlottesville, Virginia. He lived in New York in the 70s, and amazing musician, beautiful spirit, and very influential person on all of us who've spent time in Charlottesville.
Awesome.
I'll butt in there and say
That is actually exactly what I was going to say too.
That's why I said I was glad to go first. I was from Charlottesville.
John Dirth and I used to play duo almost 3 to 5 times a week. We would get up and we would just play trumpet and drums, and we would just play, and we would push each other to like as far as we could go, and he just taught me all the concepts about how I think about playing, all kind of come from John. So John has been a huge influence.
So that was a good answer.
Yeah.
Kind of universal, huh?
Oh, yeah.
If you get a musician from Central Virginia, specifically someone who plays jazz or likes jazz, very likely they'll talk about him.
Another person is, for me at least, is in that same scene is Devon Harris.
Oh yeah.
Devon Harris with Butcher Brown and DJ Harrison.
So
He taught me a lot about drums. And,
There you go.
and,
You guys
so
pretty
keep
much
going,
in
yeah.
agreement here? Do
Oh,
you have
yeah.
a new answer other than that, or
Devon is amazing, multi-talented, like instrumental, like just like great, and just like he's like the shit. Like,
Such an awesome person too.
yeah, it's crazy. If you're like he's like what John is to a lot of older people, like with younger people now, especially like Richmond and Charlottesville. Like I don't know, he's killing piano player, best drummer in the world, maybe.
Yeah, he's crazy.
disagree or any?
Yeah, I used to trade gardening for lessons with John Dirth. I had some that was amazing because I got to take music lessons with him.
Are
and
you
then
better at gardening or music?
I would say music probably, but I can weed a bed out, But I got to hang with John, talk about life while we were gardening, and talk about music in our lessons. It was pretty remarkable. As far as flute goes, I grew up listening to Matt Eckel, who's a little bit lesser known on the East Coast. He's a San Francisco guy, great jazz flute player, and don't listen to a lot of jazz flutists, but he's someone that really shaped my sound and my way of thinking about the instrument when I was growing up. So yeah, he's great.
You guys are great. It's cool seeing you jump between the sax, vocals, and the flute. It was
Thanks.
unbelievable. You guys are great musicians. We're so happy to have you. Where's your site that we can find out what's going on next? What can we send people to?
Totally. It's a Facebook site, facebook.com/CYOA Funk, F-U-N-K. CYOA F-U-N-K. That's our Facebook site.
Awesome. Guys, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Thanks to Choose Their Own Adventure. We do this every Tuesday. Next week, we have another great band. It's a duo, actually. It's called The Lark and the Loon. You don't want to miss it. We're streaming live right from our studio here in Bay Ridge. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Gina Sobel.
Oh, and guys, we have Gina Sobel. Gina's going to come back and do a solo set for us. And please stay tuned for Sunday in Bay Ridge. We have the 3rd Avenue Festival. They lock off the whole avenue. We have a bandstand in front of JJ Bubbles Bar. There's going to be a bunch of Bridgeside alumni. We're going to do a sports segment. We're going to show you some of the shows we've been doing in between segments. It's going to be a great time. Come out, support us, support the local music scene, and we'll see you next week. Go Bridgeside. Can we say go Bridgeside, guys?
Go
Bridgeside.
Wait, what key was
Sweet.
that in?
What key?
Choose your own.
Woo.
Go Bridgeside.